Hello. Today we will be reviewing order of operations. Make sure you go ahead and fill in your table of contents. This is how it should look right now. So you should have the table of contents on pages 1 through 8. We have the real number system. We reviewed integer of operations, so that should be around page 9 through 10. And then today we are going to be doing order of operations. So this is what you should be filling in right now. But if you don't have the others filled in, then please make sure you are adding the date. Okay, we should be on page 11 or around there. Our unit is the real number system. Our topic for today is order of operations. And our essential question is, why are the order of operations important? Remember, you want to complete your questions along the left-hand side if there's something you're confused about as I'm going over this. And then we're going to focus on the order of operations. So as you can see, I've highlighted a few things. Please make sure your unit, topic, and essential question are filled in. Go ahead and pause the video if you need to. Okay, so hopefully we remember that the order of operations are parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction. We can remember this with the acronym of PEMDAS. Okay, and please notice that multiplication and division and addition and subtraction are done together in the order that they are in the problem. Okay, so that's why they are highlighted the same color. A lot of people think we always do multiplication before division or addition before subtraction, but that's not true. We do it in the order it is in the problem. All right, let's take a look at our first example. So the best way to go is to ask yourself, all right, do I have parentheses? I don't see any parentheses here. Do I have exponents? Yes, I have exponents right here. So I need to complete that. So 4 squared means 4 times 4. Okay, it's not 4 times 2. So 4 times 4 is 16. Now I'm just going to bring everything else down. So I have 128 divided by 16 times 2 minus 7. So as you can see, I just brought everything else down that I didn't use. So I did the exponents. Now I'm moving to multiplication and division. Well, I see that. Right here, I've got division and multiplication. So we are going to do that in the order that I see it. So I'm going to actually divide 128 by 16 first. Got to do that first. So 128 divided by 16. You can type that in your calculator, but you're going to get 8. And then we're going to multiply that by 2. So 8 times 2 is 16. Now I'm going to bring down that minus 7. So I can finish this up by subtracting 16 minus 7, and I'm going to get 9. Okay, let's move on to our next example. So we're going to start by determining if we have parentheses. The answer to that is yes. I actually have 2 sets of parentheses. Brackets represent parentheses, and then we have our normal parentheses. So when we have 2 sets of parentheses, we work from the inside out. So that means I'm going to start with the innermost set of parentheses. So that's going to be this negative 25 divided by negative 5. That's what I need to do first. So negative 25 divided by negative 5 is a positive 5. Okay, now I'm going to bring everything else down that I haven't used. So I still have this 3/4 bracket, 13 minus, and I've used those parentheses, so I don't need to put them anymore. Okay, so now I still have this set of parentheses here inside the brackets. So I need to do this now, 13 minus 5. So 13 minus 5 is 8. And now I'm going to bring everything else down. So I've got, I'm going to give myself a little bit more room. So I've got 3/4. And when it's outside a set of brackets or a set of parentheses, it's multiplication. And then I still have this squared here. Okay, so now I've completed all of the parentheses, so I need to complete the exponents right here. So 8 squared means 8 times 8. Well, 8 times 8 is 64. And then I have to multiply that by 3/4. Okay, so from there, the best way to do this is to see what can go into each other. So like cross multiplication. So I know 4 can go into 64 16 times, and you can divide that using a calculator. So now I can just multiply straight across. So 3 times 16 is 48. 1 times 1 is 1. So we can say the answer is just 48. Okay, let's take a look at another example. All right, so whenever we have order of operations, sometimes the best thing to do is to just go ahead and write down our acronym to help us. So PEMDAS, okay, it kind of helps us remember the order we need to do that in. The biggest thing you have to remember is that the multiplication and addition subtraction is done in that order. You'll see I also have the questions off to the side if you're confused on how I get something. So I gotta look, do I have parentheses? Yep, I have 2 sets again. So I need to work from the innermost set of parentheses out. So I'm gonna start with this 5 minus 2 squared. Well, I've got another catch. Inside the parenthesis, I have to still follow order of operations, so which means I need to complete 2 cubed first. Okay, well, a lot of times we say 2 cubed is 6. That's not 6. It really means 2 times 2 times 2. Okay, that's 8. So be careful with that. Don't just multiply the base times the exponent. So 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. So we get 8 there. And then I have to bring everything else down. And you can see I wrote everything right underneath that. So I'm still working on the parentheses. I haven't gotten rid of them yet. So I still need to focus on clearing out the parentheses. So I've got 5 minus 8. Because I'm working on the innermost first. So 5 minus 8 is negative 3. Okay, and then I'm going to bring everything else down again. I've cleared those sets of parentheses, so I'm left with the brackets here. Okay, so now I can work on clearing these. So 13 plus negative 3 is 10. I'm going to bring everything else down again. So you'll see I'm only completing one step at a time. Okay, now I'm moving on to multiplication and division. Well, that's all I have left, so I have to go in order first. So this time I'm going to multiply first. So 3 times 10 is 30. Then I'm going to bring down this divided by 6. And then I divide. 30 divided by 6 is 5. And that's my answer. Okay, at this time, go ahead and pause this video and see if you can solve this problem on your own. Okay, hopefully you've taken the time to work this problem out. Let's see how you did. So again, we're following our order of operations. If you need to write that down, should be parentheses, exponents, multiplication and division, addition and subtraction. So I have to start with parentheses first. So I see brackets, and I see a set of parentheses. So I'm going to work from the innermost first. So that's the 1 plus 2, which is 3. Bring everything else down. Now, here you can keep this set of parentheses or use a dot to represent that multiplication, whichever works best for you. Okay, so now I'm going to work on the brackets here to get rid of these. When I have parentheses around just a number and there's nothing inside of it, it just means it's being multiplied to the number right next to it. So another way we can represent that is just 2 times 3. All right, so let's work here. So I have to do the exponents first inside here. I have to complete 3 squared, which means 3 times 3, which is 9. Then I'm going to bring everything else down. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to inside the parentheses. I've got to multiply before I can subtract. So that's 2 times 3, which is 6. And now I bring everything else down again. Okay, so I still don't have those parentheses completely cleared yet. So now I need to do the 9 minus 6, which is 3. So after doing all the stuff inside the parentheses, I really am just left with 3 there. Again, going to bring everything else down. So I've got 7 times 3 divided by 7 plus 5 squared. So now I'm moving on to exponents, because I have this exponent way over here. So 5 squared means 5 times 5, which is 25. And then bring everything else down. Okay, so now I'm looking at multiplication and division. I have a few of that here. I've got to go in order. So I'm going to start with the 7 times 3. 7 times 3 is 21. And then I'm going to bring all that down again. I'm still working on my multiplication and division part. So now I'm going to divide. 21 divided by 7 is 3. Plus 25, so now I can add. So 3 plus 25 is 28. So our final answer here is 28. So hopefully you did well with that. If you were confused, hopefully you have your questions over here somewhere. At this time, you can move on to your assignment for today.